Here on the DnDaily vlog, I like to explore different questions and thoughts and ideas about Dungeons and Dragons and all kinds of other ttrpgs. So today, the question that I have for you is this. Is anyone out there playing D&D 5e actually using Exhaustion? I don't know. I don't think there are many people, and if they are, how important is it to the game? It's this weird mechanic that seems like it's kind of hanging in limbo somewhere. Like, okay, I've seen people get 1 level of exhaustion. In fact, I've actually seen someone go up to even 3 or maybe 4 levels of exhaustion, but that was only after basically being, brought back from the dead, I think. I mean, literally, in the last, let's say, 3, 4, 5 years, it's been 5 years, right? It's been 5 years of D&D 5e, so I don't think more than one time I've seen exhaustion go beyond level 3. In fact, beyond level 2. Once in 5 years, I've seen that happen, where it was actually like some kind of an impact on the game. So is it just a meaningless, worthless mechanic? Let's take a look at what are the levels of exhaustion first, and then maybe try to suss out some ideas about, well, why are we not using it? How could it be used? And doesn't matter at all, I guess. So here's the levels of exhaustion. With level 1, you have disadvantage on your ability checks. So things like your acrobatics or stealth or whatnot. With level 2, now we start to see something that actually is feeling kind of meaningful. Your speed is halved. Our speed is halved if we hit level 2 of exhaustion. At exhaustion level 3, now we have disadvantage on not only our ability checks, we also have it on our attacks and saving throws. So that could get pretty scary, I guess. That makes you kind of ineffective in combat and very vulnerable in combat as well. At level 4, our hit point maximum is halved. So again, that could be real bad real fast. At level 5, our speed is reduced to 0. You basically can't move anymore. And at 6, you're dead. Yep, just dead. Death. You're just dead. That's the end of your character. Of course, you can be brought back to life with magic, but the bottom line is, like, if you get that exhausted, you're annihilated. You've drained yourself completely. I would love to see. Here's the thing. I would love to see if there were more, let's say, monster abilities maybe, or spells perhaps, or just if there were more ways that exhaustion levels were inflicted in combat, then it might be more meaningful. I suppose, depending on the game you're playing, like if you're playing a very, like, Oregon Trail / survival, post-apocalyptic, or something like this, where maybe you're not getting enough food and water, and maybe there's this real threat of you becoming more and more and more drained and going through the levels of exhaustion, that could be kind of cool. But how many games like that are there out there? Most games that I'm aware of tend to be more high fantasy, high magic, and even the ones that are low fantasy, low magic, they still tend to not be this, like, grim, dark, super gritty, hardcore games. I feel like that's not where most people playing D&D reside. They sort of reside. D&D feels like it has this sort of this higher fantasy, higher magic kind of general vibe to it. And even in things like Ravnica, or if you get into more, like, slightly more Renaissance-y kind of, or slightly more steampunk genres, that kind of thing, I still feel like there's not that sort of, like, survival of the fittest or, you know, end of the world kind of theme. I would love to play in a game like that, but I'm not aware of many out there, at least none that are streamed. I haven't really talked with anyone in the community that has played in or run any kind of game like that. I'm sure they're out there. I imagine someone out there is playing one of those games, but I haven't heard about it. So it feels like, I mean, just kind of like yesterday where I was sort of riffing and I wasn't entirely serious, although I was kind of serious, like saying that natural ones are meaningless on a certain level. They don't feel like they have the punch that they used to in older editions of Dungeons and Dragons. It's sort of weird. In 5e, Exhaustion, to me, this is my opinion, that's all it is. To me, it feels like Exhaustion doesn't have any punch. It doesn't have any weight or bearing in the game. I mean, it's sort of like a minor inconvenience at best. So, I mean, there's got to be better ways to do it. Again, some monster abilities that drain exhaustion or force exhaustion. I know I just finished running Princes of the Apocalypse, so there were one, maybe two instances in that campaign setting where exhaustion might have come to bear. Although it didn't, again, it's sort of, the way it plays out doesn't seem like it really is a big problem. I mean, especially with magic and magic items, and I don't know, just the way the game is played, it feels sort of silly. Like it was thrown in as an afterthought, or somebody thought, hey, this will be a good idea, but then did it really come to play during like play testing? Did it come to bear? Did it have an effect? Did they see that it's like, yes, this is a good mechanic, we should keep it? Or is it just one of those things that like has gotten thrown in there, shoehorned in or something, and then it just sort of like, it's there, it's cool, it works, it's sort of in the background. Prove me wrong. Tell me how you use it in your game and how it is like really important in your game, or how I can maybe use it in one of my games to make it more meaningful and more sort of threatening. Is that the right way to say it? It's more like more potent. And by the way, check out one of these videos because they're going to give you some other great thoughts about D&D and this wonderful hobby. I'll see you at a table someday. Keep rolling 20s. And remember, it's your game. Play your way.